Hey all, now microservices. Microservices are a necessary part of modern application architecture. Nest supports several built-in transport layers, implementation, such as Kafka, Nets, and others. But I want to use GraphQL as a communication tool between the front-end and the back-end instead of traditional REST API. Based on this, I will also use a Polo Federation server as a gateway API for microservices. I need to install necessary packets. Okay, and now I need to generate projects GraphQL gateway inside backend. Before to continue, I need to do some job to restructure project workspace. And from now, this project will be main project on backend, and backend project will be simple folder that include backend projects as collection microservices projects and gateway project. I copy paste main.ts Control C from backend SRC project SRC main.ts to GraphQL gateway main.ts. Control V, Control S. Okay, and app module from backend to app module of gateway, and change path. It's okay. Control S. Now restructure front end, change front end, server TS. The need to change. Now main project at backend, it's a backend GraphQL gateway. Okay, Control S. Now I can clean up the old backend project so it doesn't confuse me. Okay. Delete. Okay. Okay. And now I can to run. I'm running server SSR for check my job. Compiled. I launch up in browser. It's working. Now microservices. In every more or less serious project, it's necessary to have two services, users and authentication. I'm adding these services to the backend. Okay. Microservices, out, book, and now users. As provided. Okay. There is the new backend structure. NestJS CLI has a great CRUD generator tool. It allows to create a skeleton GraphQL service. I open a new terminal for the user's project. And generate needed resource. Users. GraphQL code first. Yes. Please pay attention to options while users resources are generated. Now I have inside project users, folder users, a skeleton of GraphQL user service. App users. There is what created. Need to add Apollo Federation driver to users module TS. Okay. And add GraphQL module. and add GraphQL module to import and the path. Join. Path. Path. Control S. Save. And run user's application. And launch localhost on port 3000. Oh, it's working. But I'm not interested only in REST API. I'm interested in GraphQL API. GraphQL has pretty playground for check API requests. I need some change in code for use it. And first, what I need to represent user object functionality. I need three base fields: ID, username. I want to use email as username, and password for security purposes. And methods: create user, get user by email, and users list as base methods. In future, I'll add fields and methods as necessary. Before all, is need to change user class. Entities, user entity, Control A, Control V, is it? Control S. And there is the minimum properties that I need to release authentication functionality. In data transfer object, I change create input user class. Yes. And in user service, create user input, create user create user function. Also, I need to change and add users array to user service. Import user. Okay. Add new function find user by email, which I will need to release login functionality in authentication service. Okay. because findObject by property is the function that I'll need a lot of times, I put it to common folder of the workspace. Okay, create apps plus common and inside common plus utils ts and inside function, and I need to add this function in the user service. Not service. It's okay. Resolver. I add new resolver. Find user by mail. And now I play with GraphQL playground and check new functionality. GraphQL. Okay. And first create user input. Created. Users list plus not working. It's not working. Why? I forgot that function findAll is need to return users array is defined in resolver by name users query. I change it. Ctrl S. And go here. Users empty because we have no users. Now create. Now users. It's working. And check query. Find user by email. Everything is working. It's time to work with authentication microservice. First of all, create resource. Okay. NestJS resource and so GraphQL. Yes. Okay. Now add GraphQL module to auth module. auth module. Authorize. Okay. Release basic auth functionalities as defined in front-end login page. I need 3 functions: sign up or create user, login or find user by email, and forgot user or update user. Now I see duplicates functionality in users and auth services. I can to resolve authentication functionality by 5 ways, maybe more. I'm sure exist more ways. The simplest solution is to duplicate the code from service to service. But I don't like it. I hate this because the simplest solutions, copy and paste, lead a lot of technical work and endless errors as application becomes more complex. And more, application behavior becomes unpredictable. I know this because my own hard experience. Second, creating a common code sharing folder like backend common and putting common classes like user and methods like get user by email there. But along the way, the idea of encapsulating code in microservices disappears. Third, adding messaging layer as messaging platform as Kafka or RabbitMQ. Maybe, but I think too soon. It's serious platforms requiring additional supports and had pain from this. Maybe using TCP messaging as light solution and on demand to move to more sophisticated platform. Maybe, but in all case it requires added code layer. 4. Using Axios package for post GraphQL request. I can encapsulate it in common backend module and don't use Axios for code on my microservices. And using resolvers for get methods. Using WebSockets. It's one from universal techniques to communicate web applications, allows to directional communication. And I choose number 4. It's Axios HTTP client. It's light, strong solution with minimum code, flexibility, and allow to move and add another solution on demand. Besides, GraphQL as sender resolver pair has already been released in the project. I release Axios as gateway common, both backend and frontend. Generate service. No, generate module in first. Okay. Generate service now. Next step, add function send message to Axios gateway service. Import Axios. Import Axios Okay. Now I need to add necessary functionality to our service. Where our service to our service. Our entity need to add email and password to our class. Nothing less. Change, create house input. Add email and password. Nothing less. And remove update house input. It's not need. Okay. In auth resolver, I need to add login resolver and remove others. Okay. And remove this. Control F. In auth service, I need to add login and validate user methods. And remove other methods as not needed. And import is not needed. Import access service. Axios. Service. Access gateway service. Run. Oof. Come on. Access gateway service. Okay. And add constructor. With access gateway service. Okay. In validate user function, I send message to user service for get user by email by using access gateway service. Send message function gets two parameters, URL of microservice and query from this service that I want to use. And validate user function returns to client found user as result. Users URI GraphQL the URL of user's microservice. This URL I want to save in common application constants file for sharing from different code parts of the application. I'm creating Git common no. Where I am? Common constants keys. Okay. Users URI GraphQL port 3000 and for out port 3001. Okay. Control S. And now add constants to our auth service. Okay. Users URI resolved. Okay. I want to check how authentication works. And first, I need to run user service. Second, need to run auth service. Open new terminal and run. Okay. Auth. Third, go to user playground and add user. And add user to users. Now create user. Users. We have users plus localhost. Okay. There is the login query. Wow. It's return result. If I send with password QQQ, password or email not right. It's right. Login fault. Now I'm at the finish line. I'm doing all this on SSR server. I need to add to GraphQL gateway Apollo gateway. For access, microservices centralized by one URL of SSR server. App module and import necessary packages. Control S is I need. And config GraphQL module. Control S. And run SSR server. Compiled successfully, and now I can check all GraphQL functionality on SSR server. Okay. GraphQL. Okay. Okay. I need to create user from our SSR server. GraphQL created, uncreated, more users, 222, 222, 222, okay, users, wow, we have 2 users, authentication, these users not exist, error, now, 222, password not right, 222, it's working.